Oh, he really was. Huh. My mother never breastfed me as a child. She told me she liked me as a friend.
Exactly.
Testing on 3.854.
Oh my God, is that Norm? Norm, your sound. Put the amp on, Norm. Norm, put the amp on, Norm. Do you copy me?
Norm is too busy stuffing his face with elk or deer meat stuffing.
Well, I don't think he hears us. Because he's just in the background saying testing, testing.
It's what you call an ESP transmission in DX circles when you're trying to work a station that's infinitesimally weak.
Well, Norm, if you copy me, maybe we'll work you at the gray line. KB2 UKA.
Yeah, great. That's funny.
W2QA.
Harry, what's the difference between a pregnant woman and a light bulb?
I don't know.
You can unscrew a light bulb.
I thought that was almost going to be a rhetorical question.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
That's pretty good.
What pronouns does chocolate use?
What?
Her, she.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Hey, is anybody paying any attention at all to the Olympics? I'm not. I'm proud to say I am not.
Zero attention to the Olympics over here.
I could care less.
Yeah, I mean, I think the IOC and what they've done and what they've allowed and what we've seen is it's an abortion. You know, it's just, well, what do you expect? You know, what do you expect from a liberal organization?
I did see one clip of the Romanian girl jump the long jump, you know, where they run about 100 feet and they jump into sand. I saw that clip about 100 times over.
Yeah, did she break her hymen?
No. She had a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction there.
Oh, okay. Like who? Oh, Michael Jackson or who the hell was it?
Janet. It was his sister, Janet.
No, I from what I remember, that was above the waistline, Janet, right?
Yeah, that's right. Boy, I'll tell
I still say there's something fishy about that whole thing.
And then you have the other problem when all of these megastars and artists get into or anybody and that's got any kind of luminary status in entertainment, and they use their forum. They use their forum for political purposes. That disgusts me. And
Tell them how you really feel, Rick.
Pretty much immediately turn it off. WXTT.
Wow, Rick, your signal took a huge fade for most of your transmission there, and usually you're booming in down here.
Yeah, same here. The conditions are very bad all day.
Well, just look at the propagation forecast. It's pitiful, but you wouldn't think. I mean, historically, under most circumstances, that it would affect the low bands as much as it has, but it has. And you look at QRZ, weather.com and other sites, and you see the forecast, and it's not good, and it's a shame. It's really a shame because we're at the peak of the sunspot cycle. I mean, the solar flux index was like 300 plus today. Unbelievable. But the flares are killing it.
So yeah, I think it was in the 340s, and what I read is it's the summer doldrums. So the ionosphere, it's not even as much the flares, it's just the position of the Earth to the sun, and the ionosphere is not refracting the way it's absorbing, not refracting. So if these numbers stay in the mid 300 range into September, it should be unbelievable good propagation.
Well, we got to get the flares down. That's first and foremost, and I haven't had a good DX 160 season in a long time, and I'm right on the water here, and I've got a vertical, and it's been very, very frustrating because the signals just haven't been there. But that's the whole cycle. That's the 11-year sunspot cycle. But right now, I mean, 20 has been horrible. 20 meters. You got to go up to 15, and the forecasts have said 15 is good. Well, it's not really even good because the signal strengths aren't there. I would say 15 and 17 have been fair, and 10 has been dead. You haven't had much sporadic E on 6 meters either, so it's been very, very mundane.
20 meters during the day for the last, 6 weeks, there's nothing there. It opens up here like around 7 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock. It's like it starts booming in late, literally at the gray line. But you should be, even at the solar minimum, there's activity on 20 meters during the day.
Well, that's absolutely true. It's just
check.
An unbelievably bad cycle, 11-year cycle, and the solar indices have been extremely poor. And you look at the A index, you look at the K index, and it's not good. But then, not only that, you can say, well, it's okay, it's not great. But then you look at the geomagnetic disturbances, and then you look at the solar flares, and you say, well, how the hell are you going to get around that? You can't. I've been a ham for 55 years. I've never seen it this bad. Well, as long back as I can remember, I've been through some bad cycles before, but this one is really bad.
Yeah, it is bad. Hold on 1 second, guys. KB2 UKA.
Is there actually a fort in Fort Salonga?
There was during the revolution. Stand by 1 second. My daughter's in here. Hold on.
Oh, don't let them kid you. Fort Salonga, that's a very well-to-do area.
Well, I used to live in Long Island. I know that area. Yeah, it's... well, you guys are... well, anyhow, there are all sorts of hidden... well, not necessarily hidden, but areas that are purported to be, upper echelon.
Don't yell.
Hi.
All right, they can't hear you, but YouTube can. All right, go. Ah, yes. Fort Salonga, of course. Of course. We're gonna go down to the harbor today. And maybe we'll play a little tennis.
Well, that's a good thing. Make sure you have your whites on.
Rick, why did you leave Wrong Island for Rogues Island?
Oh, Harry, that was a long time ago. I was born in Jamaica, New York, 1954, and then we moved to Nassau County, and then out to Nassau, from Nassau out to Suffolk a little bit, and by the time I was 8, my father had been working in Manhattan, and then he got transferred. His company moved to New Jersey when I was 8, so it's been a long time since I've been in Long Island, but I still have an affectionate part of my heart with that area.
Where'd you live in Suffolk?
Well, I used to be in, we moved around a little bit, but just over the border. I was in Westbury and Argyle, and we used to go to the Hamptons, and it was so much fun. But back in the old days, Jones Beach was unbelievable. I don't know what it is now. It's probably like a ghetto.
It is. It is. Robert Moses used to not be, at least when I was younger. That's starting to turn into that too. You gotta go out where Harry is. You gotta go out east. You gotta go to the Hamptons. You gotta go to the North Fork, South Fork, but it turns into a zoo out there too this time of year. Right over the border. So you got Western Suffolk, which is like Huntington. You've got Eastern Nassau, like Woodbury. That's all on the North Shore, and then you go down like more further central. You got Syosset, and you got Deer Park and all that. I grew up in Huntington.
Oh, it's Billy Joel country.
Oh yeah, Billy Joel country. You got downtown Huntington, lots of bars and restaurants. My office is right next to the Paramount Theater, even today. I'm right down there still in Huntington.
When I used to work for Pioneer, when I was still living in New Jersey, and I had a couple of I had to visit a couple of accounts out in Long Island. I used to go to the mall out there in Huntington, and man, I enjoyed it, and it kind of brought back memories when I was really young. And what was it? Maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I bought a boat. Right around COVID, out by the Fork out there. But anyhow, no, it's a great spot. We've all got our problems. We all have illegal immigrants all over the place. Hopefully, we'll be able to hold down the fort, as in Fort Salonga, and protect all of the people that we hold near and dear to us.
Rick, what year or years would it have been that you were going to the Walt Whitman Mall? Would that be the 1980s or later?
No, it was actually the late 70s. It was graduated college, 76, and I started working for Pioneer, 79 and 80, and then we launched Laserdisc and everything, which was a progenitor to the CD. Yeah, it was right around 78, 79, 80.
Okay, so I was a little boy. I was born in 1980, and I pretty much grew up at the Walt Whitman Mall. You would not it looked the way it looked in the late 70s all the way through the 90s. A&S is gone. Everything's gone. It is all redone. It's now called the Walt Whitman Shops. And it's all high-end stores. They still never did it. For years, they were talking about putting a second level on it. They never did it. It's got Pottery Barn. It's got all the high-end furniture store. It's still a nice mall. But I miss what you remember. You probably remember the big fountains. So no, there's no more fountains.
Yeah. No, I remember. Yeah, I think there were fountains there, but it wasn't my selling account, but I was a rep when I first started. I was like what they call a missionary. When I first started with the outfit, before I got any selling accounts, so I had to represent Pioneer at all of the tertiary Sam Goody. Do you remember Sam Goody? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sam Goody locations, and Sam Goody was located at the mall, so I had to go there and hand out literature and talk to the guys on the selling floor and push the product and do sales training and so on and so forth. But I always remember that where I lived in New Jersey and going all the way the hell out there and back and hitting a couple of other accounts out there. I mean, that was a whole day, but anyhow, I'll turn it over to some of the other guys on frequency. I don't want to hog it.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris or Harry. They might have departed. Well, yeah, Sam Goody. I remember Sam Goody. And then, there's a damn fly in here. And then across the street from the Walt Whitman Mall, you might have been done coming to Long Island by then, though. They had the Wiz was there. I'm sure the Wiz was one of Pioneer's accounts. You had Crazy Eddie on Long Island. He sold a lot of Pioneer gear.
Yes. Yeah. The Wiz, as I got, I don't know, after a couple of years with the firm, I inherited the Wiz account, and it was the corporate name was Jamal Town because the name of the family was Jamal, and they were actually Syrian Jews.
Interesting.
And why is that consequential? Well, it's not really consequential, but my immediate boss, Alan Alper, who was a Jew, he lived in Staten Island, and he kind of took me under his arm. He was great. He was like a second father to me. He said, Rick, he says, you got the Jamals. He said, they're Syrian Jews. He said, they're the worst of the worst. And believe me, and because I'm transferring this account over to you, and I'm a Jew, and he said, I know you're a Christian, but I hope you got some balls to be able to deal with these people, because they're ruthless. That's basically what he said. Anyhow, it's just an aside. It's kind of sad to say, but how times, well, in a way, yes, times have changed, but then again, times haven't changed. And these idiots that are running for office, how's this for a segue? Doug, how's this for a segue? These idiots that are running, Kamala, she doesn't have a clue. And she's going to be, she's well, basically just like Biden, maybe like one step above Biden because she's able to enunciate a sentence. But she's got the whole propaganda message that's going to be transmitted to her. But can you believe it? in terms of a debate, in terms of an interview, it's hey man, she's got her Jamaican heritage saying, well, I'm going to blow a joint first before I get involved in any of this because I don't, I'm not too concerned about it, man. Over.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting about the Wiz. Remember what their slogan was? Nobody beats the Wiz. And it was a huge. You worked for Pioneer, so obviously you know this. And I'd be interested to know if you retired from Pioneer, and what position you were when you left, or if you went to another company after Pioneer. But the '80s was a huge boom in technology, and video game systems, audio systems, home theater. Like we had a Laserdisc player. We had all the newest crap. My father would get it all. We rarely went into the Wiz. There was something about it my mother didn't like, and it was either their return policy or they were more expensive than just going across the street. And because remember, Macy's had all the electronics too. You could buy a video game system or a Pioneer sound system at Macy's, not just going to an electronics store. So I wonder what it was. It might have been the price. They might have been a higher price than everywhere else. Rick, you still there?
Yeah, here. Yeah, WX2T. Anybody else out there we left behind? I'm sorry, WX2T.
Harry, Chris, you guys still listening?
Oh, I tried. I hope I didn't compromise the situation.
No, we had a back and forth, but we stopped a few minutes ago and asked, no one was there.
Yeah, I thought so. I try to be cognizant of the fact that there's other guys and they want to jump in. So, because I know you and Chris had the commentary going on audio and what have you. So, let's try again. WX2T. Nope. Okay. Well, yeah. No, I when I first started with the firm, it was called Gerald Taylor Marketing, and it was an independent rep firm. We were reps for various and sundry firms, manufacturers. We had Alpine.
Yeah, I am here. I'm on the phone.
We had U.S. Pioneer, and we had.
Okay, good. I hear you, Chris.
Very minor corporations, but anyhow, we had taken over, and I got this. I was lucky. I got this job. I sent a resume out, an actual resume, through the mail, and they wanted to get rid of the other rep firm in the New York metro area. So we handled all the way down to Monmouth County, out to the PA border, upstate New York through Rockland County, basically into Fairfield County, Connecticut, and all of Long Island, the rest of New Jersey. It was a big territory. So anyhow, occasionally I had to go out and visit all of the Wiz stores, and oh yeah, they were unscrupulous. I guess you would call them very, very horrible. In terms of there was absolutely no any kind of how would you say any kind of business dealings that were on the up and up. Everything, you always had to watch your backside, your corner. and they were always looking to get an edge. But yeah, I made some money with them, and in terms of bonuses and anyhow, there were some brothers that were involved in the corporation, closely held family corporation, and you never knew when you went into a buying situation who you were going to deal with. So you had to get to know everybody. So anyhow, that's just the way it was. I did not sell Crazy Eddie per se, but I met Eddie Antar and the rest of his family. I basically worked all the stores, and talked to all the employees on the floors. But they really didn't like us. Pioneer was as they used to say, the most hoard around brand in existence. Probably followed by, closely held by Panasonic / Techniques, and they couldn't make any money on us because everybody and his uncle handled the brand, and they whittled the price structure down on the retail level, and there was no margin involved. So when I came into a lot of the stores, I wasn't held in too high esteem. Over.
Oh yeah, I could see that. And you just taught me something. I didn't know Techniques was Panasonic. Interesting. I guess that was their DJ brand.
Well, yeah, and it was their high-end brand, but the overall holding corporation was Matsushita Corporation, and still is.
A nice Italian company. Or Japanese, that's what I meant.
Yeah. But anyhow, those were the days, and they used to call, and just before I got into it, my boss, he was great. Like I said, he was like a father to me, a second father. He was wonderful, and it took me under his wing because he said, Rick, you just got out of college, and yeah, you know something about electronics and so on and so forth, but you're ready to go out into a hornet's nest. And he was absolutely right.
Well, just hearing what you did, you could have taken your electronics knowledge and thrown it out the window, because that became 100% a people business, with electronics being secondary. Very similar to what I do, right? Like, I can know anything that you need to know about the market, how things work, none of that matters. My job's to get butts in the chair and to build relationships. That's it.
No, you're right, Doug. Very often, and it's just the way things happen. You get involved, like in excuse me, in college, I got a degree in communication arts with concentration in radio and TV broadcasting. And I kind of had a predilection towards the technical end and, doing camera work or audio work or what have you. But that never transpired. And anyhow, I ended up getting into sales on the retail level, and then that transformed itself into the wholesale or the commercial or the manufacturer's level. So that's just the way things happen, and you never know. You never know how things are going to transform themselves, and I don't know. In many respects, I wish I had the smarts, the intelligence, and the intellect to, to to be inducted into a Hall of Fame, so to speak. Be intelligent enough, and I never did that well. But to go to an Ivy League school, and what does that mean anymore? Quite frankly, if you're in an Ivy League school, probably the most accolades that you could ever receive from getting any other any degree would be that you're also an anarchist. So I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing. My father went to Columbia, class of 41, just before he went over to Europe and fought in World War II. And before it was Columbia University, it was actually Columbia College. And he got a degree in psychology. So they figured it made sense, right? They threw him into the psychological warfare division.
Oh, wow.
So he served with the 7th Army in France with Eisenhower, and so on and so forth. Anyhow, a lot of missions and interesting stuff. But it's just, my point is, Doug, and you know this, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. You never know. Whatever your background is, no matter what your training is and your degree or whatever, it doesn't mean necessarily you're going to end up exactly in that field. Over?
Oh, absolutely. And, that's why with the young people today, they're paralyzed. They're paralyzed. They go to school and then they don't get jobs. But they're also, majoring in women's studies or whatever the hell. It's just, I went to school. I've told you this story before. I went to NYU. And by the way, as you were telling me the story about your father going to Columbia, it just popped up on my phone. 3 Columbia deans had to just resign because their text messages leaked during the whole pro-Hamas thing, and they were all anti-Semitic text messages between the 3 of them. They all just resigned. That's funny. I went to school. I went to NYU. And I went to NYU for theater. And I was waiting tables and bartending in my early 20s. And then, hold on one second. Okay. In my early 20s. And then I ended up getting a job at a brokerage house. And that led, to all these licenses that I have that allow me to buy and sell securities and supervise the creation of them and supervise Salesforce. I have like 6 or 7 licenses. And then I ended up at JP Morgan for 12 or 15 years, and then I opened my own business. So I like to say I still act every day.
Interesting. So are you a financial planner or a economic or a financial strategist or whatever the hell you want to call it right now?
I own a financial advisory, planning, and consulting firm. So we work with individuals and couples for financial planning and retirement planning and business planning, etc. That's about half of what we do. And the other half of what we do, we oversee retirement plans for medium to large size corporations. So we advise on their 401k plan for all the employees, their 403b plan, group health benefits. And then what happens is over time, those participants that work in those companies end up becoming our individual clients anyway. There's about 12 of us. We're in a nice office right in downtown Huntington Village.
And that is exactly where?
So when you used to go to the Walt Whitman Mall, head north on Route 110. If you remember Route 110, you go all the way north and eventually you enter Huntington Village. And that's where the Paramount Theater is. And if you go a little bit further north, you hit beautiful Huntington Harbor. So we're right down in the high-end town. It's a perfect place to be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Billy, that's definitely...
it is.
If I'm not mistaken, Billy Joel country. I keep alluding to that for whatever reason, but that's how I just remember it in my mind. And boy, you sound potent. You sound impotent. Impotent, as I used to say. Well, I still say impotent, and that's a good kind of impotent. On 3854, 10 over. Jesus. The band got out of its doldrums, and it just takes a little bit longer to recover. It's kind of like a, what would you say? I don't want to get into the urological aspects of, well, you know what I'm talking about. We could go off on a whole nother diatribe about that, right? Impotent and impotence and Jesus. Well, as you get older, we all have certain types of problems, and then we have amateur radio problems, and then we have the hell with the hell with amateur radio problems. Right? I mean, let's talk about the country. And I don't know how much longer you want to stay. I have to probably leave here pretty soon, Doug, but isn't it? It's just unbelievable. This the love affair, and everybody predicted this with the media on the right. And how much of the media on the right is left in the marketplace? Let's face it, but, they still hold on the left, and they cling. They're Klingons. Jesus, they try to hang on and protect her. But what else are they going to do? There's no difference. There is absolutely no difference between Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, other than the fact that she's living and she's twitching and she's cackling and she's laughing and she's got her big teeth out there. But she has absolutely no clue whatsoever in terms of a forum or any kind of a platform. There's no platform that she's enunciated, and she says, "Oh yeah, this is hilarious, right? It's hilarious." Well, I'll get to it by the first debate. Actually, we'll have the first debate. Well, you know what? Very shortly after that, we're going to have early voting. But I guess she figures the sheeple, they don't watch, they don't listen, so it doesn't matter anyhow. So she thinks she's going to get by. I don't know. It's pitiful, but I think theoretically she could end up hanging herself. But then again, I said to my wife, I said to Jen, I said, the sheeple are so idiotically uneducated that they don't know what's going on. That there's no clue. There's no clue, and they're just going to look at her as being a beautiful, wonderful, compassionate woman. Over.
Oh, KB2 UKA Friday. Yeah, it's she's got me nervous because of what the media is doing, and we can never underestimate the stupidity of a lot of people in large groups. If you caught this week when J.D. Vance went up to the media on the tarmac as they were waiting for Kamala to get off the plane, I'm sure you caught that. But what was most ironic about it, when he says to them, "Hey guys, just want to thank you for what you're doing. I know you're pretty bored. She doesn't ask. You're not able to ask her any questions." Did you notice when he did that they didn't acknowledge him at all. They don't want him to have any airtime. They had the future vice president of the United States of America in front of them while they were doing nothing, waiting for her to get off her airplane. They could have asked him any question they wanted to, and they asked him nothing because they don't want to air him. If they don't air him, if they don't air Trump, and they just keep airing her and how great she is, you're going to have a tight race. It's really scary shit. KB2 UKA.
KB1BM, good afternoon.
That sounds like Eddie. Yeah, I'll keep it short. It is scary shit. There's no question. Absolutely, you have to be an idiot not to realize. But there are a lot of illiterate idiots and people that don't watch the news. They have no clue, and this is what gets me so pissed off. It really, really gets me pissed off with a lot of my. Now, I'm going to use the word friend. Okay, what is a friend versus what is an acquaintance? And I don't know. I really don't know what the differential is, but I would say a really close friend, probably thinks the way exactly I do, and I can say anything to that person, male or female, and we're in absolute accordance with our belief system. But I don't know. I really don't know. Philosophically, emotionally, how the hell I'm going to get through this whole election process, because we're just getting into it, and then we have the debates. Debates are just barely on the heels of the debates are just barely on the heels of the election process with early voting. I mean, this is unbelievable. And then we don't know what's going to happen. We just don't know what's going to happen. And we can predict, and we're scared of it, but what have we done to protect the efficacy of the election process? Anyhow, KB1BM WX2T.
WX2T and the group, KB1BM, good afternoon. And I also hear KB2 UKA Superstation over there on Long Island there. So just want to say good afternoon all around from KB1BM on the heights of Dorchester. There you go.
Oh, Isaac, what's up, man? You sounded marvelous yourself. Marvelous yourself, my friend. KB1BEM, KB2 UKA. Hold on one second, guys. Rick, why don't you take it? My daughter just walked in. I got to help her with something. I'll be right back, KB2. And I think Chris might still, I know he's out there. He was on the phone. Maybe Chris will pick it up. But why don't you pick it up quick, Rick? KB2 UKA.
Okay. All right, Doug. KB2 UKA WX2T. Chris, are you out there, man? I'm sorry. Jump in, Chris. KZ2N. Kind of sounds like Howard Cosell. KZ2N. You out there, Chris? I don't hear him. Go ahead. Oh man, Eddie, what's happening, man? I haven't heard you in a while.
I know. I just be going to school sometimes in the afternoon, and then
Everyone
sometimes I
can see
just
you
be a little
and
tired when I come home, so I just sit
So,
back
come here.
in there and
Go.
relax there for a bit there. But
So when I point
Hello.
to you, you're going to say, this
Excuse.
is KB2UK.
otherwise, that's everything is okay. So let me turn it back to you there real quick. I noticed my screen freezed a bit just now, so I have to turn it to you to see if you're still hearing me properly. Back to you, KB1B. Yeah.
This is KB2 UKA.
That's KB2 UKA.
Hold on. Say hi, it's Jillian.
Hi, it's Jillian.
Tell them who you are.
I'm Doug Serrato's daughter.
Ooh.
Hey, good afternoon, Jillian. This is KB1B. This is Eddie. This is Eddie over here in Boston, there you go.
Hey, nice to meet you, Eddie.
Nice to meet you, Eddie.
Say, ask him if it's windy up there like it is down here from the storm.
Is it windy up there like it is down here?
You can say good afternoon to the other gentleman down in Rhode Island. So, back to you, KB1B.
Hey, Jillian, I've seen your videos. Pretty amazing.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
There's videos. I haven't heard them, or seen. I should say seen them. Yeah. Anyhow, Rick in Rogues Island, as Eddie would say, and anyhow, great to hear you, man. This is wonderful. Anyhow, we're just shooting the breeze here, talking about stuff. And WX2T, I'm in Portsmouth, Rhode Island, just north of Newport, about 10 minutes north on the island. Name is Rick, and it's great to hear everybody.
All right, well, I'm back. She's gone. She actually loves talking on the radio. And yes, it is great to hear everybody. KB2 UKA.
Don't forget, you need to set up this banana over here. There you go.
Oh, I'm off the potato. I'm off of it again, Eddie. I'm using I ripped out my my Apollo UAD Apollo interface where you put all the plugins right on the box. I'm using that thing.
Boy, I can't keep up with you and that guy down in that place down there, man. KC2, and I can't keep up with you guys there.
You know, I like potatoes, but I don't know. There's something about carrots. I like carrots also.
Voice. Well, they should come out with a voice metered carrot. I can still help you set it up, Eddie. I'm gonna still use it. I didn't delete it. I just I don't know. I just wanted to try this out again. I like the way this sounds too.
I think you get good results with all the things that you use. You know what I mean? It just as the small footprint of the potato, you can't beat it.
You really can't. You really can't. But, you know, I'm using an audio interface. You got to use that with Potato, right? And with Potato, you have to have the software. So you got to open up the software. Well, with the Apollo, I have a piece of software. So it's kind of similar, right? I'm not using a DAW or any of that. I'm using the GUI that comes with UAD stuff. Yeah, I'll put it up on the screen. There you go. And yeah, so it's still just one piece of software and an audio interface. That's what it is. And yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, Chris. It's at the point where no matter what I do, it sounds the same.
Well, I don't know about that. You should set up some ABs, and it's all settings, though. I mean, you're right. I mean, you can probably set them all up to get very, very similar results. I noticed right away, you know, I asked you the question. I noticed right away you weren't on the potato.
Yeah, well, it's EQ'd a little differently, and I'm using different effects that I can't use in the potato.
All right, very good to hear you there, Isaac. You know, your friend and mine, KZ2N here in downtown Port Jefferson. And we are using the potato, which I can't see myself using anything else. I just don't see how that's beneficial.
Check. 1,
Hey,
2.
KG2, and I'm telling you, man, you got the stereo FM quality, man. I'm hearing that low, smooth rumbling in your audio, man. It's beautiful. KG2 and KB1BM, back to you.
Man, I didn't really get what he said, Doug. He dropped out on me big time.
He said you've got that FM quality, really robust, low end, but smooth. It sounds amazing.
He said he
I'm glad it's working, and it's so much fun to play around with, and it really costs you if you have an audio interface, obviously. It doesn't cost anything, so. Oh boy, I gotta cook something to eat. It's 7 o'clock. And, still no sign of any storm. I mean, it's a little breezy out, but no rain here in Port Jefferson. What's it like in Fort Salonga?
So no rain. My neighbor already lost a 70-foot tree in his front yard. That was early this morning. I've had 30-mile-an-hour sustained all day long. It's been windy here. So, and it's supposed to get more windy while we're sleeping at night. So there is a very big possibility I wake up to no antenna. I'd say it's a 65% chance something snaps my antenna tonight.
We're supposed to get, some stuff maybe around midnight tonight here in Rogues Island, Portsmouth. But I think it's going to be basically a 12-hour event, and I don't think it's going to be anything undue. But I went out this afternoon and I filled a 5-gallon jerry, and I put some treatment in it, and we'll see what happens. You never know. But I've been through a lot of stuff up here. But I don't think in the 16 years I've been here, and this month is the 16th year I've been in Rhode Island, north of Rhode Island and Newport, but mostly New Jersey. I don't think I've lost power more than 2 or 3 times. So I guess I'm lucky.
Yeah, well, I have underground lines here, but that's a side street I'm on. The road that you get to my street, that has on the pole. So if one of those comes down, I lose power anyway. But it was so windy this morning that I started the generator. I make sure it runs. I check the oil. So I'm good to go. I just, I don't know. We're in a tornado watch. So Western Suffolk and all of Nassau County, Chris, is in a tornado watch. So we'll see what happens. I've got a lot of trees here. Unfortunately, there's also a bunch on one side of the house. I think if one of them falls and hits the house, it's not putting a hole in my ceiling, but it's probably going to crack the roof. But that's fine. That's why we have insurance. Guys, I think I'm going to get out of here too. I think I'm going to go upstairs and watch a movie. We got a big day tomorrow. We're taking Jillian and 10 of her friends to see Six, the musical in Broadway. I got a car picking us all up and bring us right into Manhattan, see the show, and get right the hell out of there. And she turns 11 on Monday, and then Sunday she's having a little pool party here with her school friends. So my weekend is non-existent for myself, but I'm glad I'm here for her to have a good time. So Rick, Isaac, Chris, everybody, 73. This is KB2 UKA going QRT.
Okay, 7-3, Doug. Yeah, I have fun with that. Wow. You live a whole different life than I do. And my life is so boring. I mean, you guys are always having something awesome to do. So All right, KZ2N, I'm going to get out of here too. Rick, Isaac, and Doug, good hearing you in there. We're going that away.
Okay. Yeah. Chris, Isaac, and yeah, Doug. Yeah, 73. Good luck and be safe. That's the main thing. Be safe down there at WX2T.
All right, we're out.
Okay, Doug.
Oh, there we go.
73s, and we'll talk. When one of these days we'll set up that thing. I already installed the team viewer, so one of these days we'll get right into it, man. I see what you're talking about. The difficulty is there, so no problem. So back to you.